want to go with the blue side, right?
Yeah, I think that you would want to just set the pace of it, but it looks like
Oh,
HYVE
no,
are
they
going to go
didn't.
with blue. BIGETRON looking to counter, right? I think that in terms of the draft, one thing I wasn't a huge fan, the Neza pick in the end kind of really didn't pay off. The Lung into the channel really didn't help Bebek as well. I mean, yeah, you might be comfortable on these heroes, but you gotta think about that matchup. It's key in this point, and if you have the red side, this is that opportunity so that you can counter draft.
Okay, I mean, for HYVE All-Stars, they've banned out the channel. This means they want to open up the Loom. They want to open up the RD for themselves. BIGETRON by Vitality, then this kind of puts in another question for themselves. Now, BIGETRON, they have banned out one of the big RD counters, which is the Dharma. So something else is cooking in that pot for BIGETRON.
Yeah, looking to attack at least one. I think that this is a good idea, right? What you saw, I mean, when you have a Clash laner like Wana who's able to create so much havoc and to have such an impact, you want to focus her as much as possible. Maybe she plays a hero that she's not as comfortable with, but I think at this stage it's going to be tough because it's just the second game, right?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely want it because you don't want to be left with the wanna, coulda, shoulda at this point. So HYVE All-Stars, they're gonna start with the Dolia. Maybe the Yangjian comes true.
It's open, so you're kind of forcing it. Like, I picked Dolia here. Are you gonna pick the Jiangyan? Right? And BIGETRON, it's not as impactful without the Dolia. Obviously, it's a nice little 1-2 combination if they're able to get both. But they're now in a situation where they're looking to have to pick it here, and BIGETRON will.
Okay, snap pick, they steal away from the side of HYVE All-Stars. Now, there's still plenty of options for the side of HYVE All-Stars here, which is to pick up the Lung. They can't use the Yuan anymore. They've used that in game number 1. So there's other forms of refreshers that can be used as well. Maybe, you know, since you have a Tri-Light Super Tank, why not consider a Lupu? But HYVE All-Stars, they lock in this mid first. The Haya coming in. This one, once again, looks like a super strong draft.
Very strong right now, but the Yangjian is also looked at as a counter to the Haya, the Evernight Aspiration. So if he gets stuck into the Moonscape Mirage, obviously the Yangjian is going to have a great time in that one. So are you going to look to isolate? It looks like the HYVE, if anything, they need to kind of have a little bit more sustain, some sort of tanky frontliner as well.
I mean, they have good early game, right? Once again, in the mid lane, this is a guarantee for Gia here, right? She should be able to clear the waves really quickly, and this is going to aid her in the rotation. So that first rotation, will she go and help Wana in that Clash lane, or will she go towards Joy 7 as well as Posty? Meanwhile, on the side of BIGETRON though, it's kind of a slower pace, but more sustained. They want to last to this mid and late game, right? Because once you give Rita that late game as a Tri-Light, she is going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, and if she's able to get that space, right? I think that was one where last game, she was kind of forced to play a little bit more aggressively, especially on the Neza. You got to be skyfalling, you got to be trying to get to that back line. And she was kind of, you know, doing it when the rest of the team wasn't really with her. So she was kind of soloed out. But now they're going to go with the Charlotte to kind of get that top lane, the Clash laner. And it's kind of flexible, right? In terms of what HYVE have still yet to pick in terms of a role.
I think that's a good start for the Clash team, right? And HYVE All-Stars, they want to kill this game off right here, right now. They pick up the Luna, the Moonblade, for the side of Rogue here. And based on her gameplay in game number 1, I think she's going to pull this off massively. Now, meanwhile, in the Clash lane, Wana is going to play the War Saint here, the Guan Yu. I think that's a good answer against the Rose Fencer, but it's dependent on the farm.
Definitely on the farm, but I mean, also at the same time, you see the Tooncaster, the Yuan. If she tries to get on back with the Unending Sorrow, but if she's completely out of position by the War Saint, you're just going to be able to just run her down. So this draft to me makes a lot of sense. Plus, you've got the Luna let Rogue fly on this one in terms of just getting to that back line, because again, BIGETRON, kind of squishy, right? They definitely have some options or some holes in this lineup, and it's going to be tough for the Charlotte as well as the Yangjian to really protect everybody.
Okay, maybe it's just the momentum of HYVE All-Stars, but I feel like I can see the victory for them as well. I think the prior target for Gia in this mid, higher Evernight Aspiration pick is actually to get Kitty Cutie out, right? Once she cannot offer her Unending Sorrow to the team, then it massively reduces the heal potential and the comeback factor from the side of BIGETRON by Vitality.
Yeah, being able to take that away, I think it's going to be like all eyes right now on that Haya. you know, is Gia able to kind of get the right steal at the right time with that Moonscape Mirage and just really set the tone? Because again, if they have another good early game and this Haya gets kind of that farm, she can pretty much isolate almost everyone, aside maybe from the Yangjian, which you might struggle a little bit.
And at this point, Bebek's pick on the flowborn marksman, I like it, but if she gets caught, then it's also a world of pain and disaster for her. So right now, let's recap what's happening. HYVE All-Stars against BIGETRON by Vitality. This is game number 2 of a best of 3 series, meaning this is series point for HYVE All-Stars.
Yeah, they have that opportunity here, and it looks like they've got, you know, the drafts, everything is kind of set up, but it looks like they were very happy with the picks, you know, at least from the HYVE side. You saw a lot of smiles even as they were selecting some of them. So this Haya is going to be, you know, the one to watch for me, because again, that Moonscape Mirage, who gets isolated? Is she able to kind of get the right pickoffs for the rest of the team to just kind of steamroll, because they have that potential. They have a lot of burst on this squad.
Yes, they definitely do have. But at the same time, you know what? I feel like BIGETRON by Vitality, they like their own draft really well as well, right? They were kind of giggling and feeling very confident about it. And based on the jungle picks, I feel like this goalie is even more important, because both junglers are not exactly the fastest wave clearers in the jungle camps. So they need to have that advantage. A small one, especially even a first blood, is going to change the game for them.
Yeah, getting first blood, that would be huge. But also just the blue buff steal from BIGETRON. If they're able to take that away from Rogue, who is like very dependent on that blue buff to really get going in terms of just the early game farming efficiency of that hero, I think that, you know, they're going to have a much better time. They need to be very focused, and they need to be aggressive in that regard.
Yeah, okay, you know what? That's great, but Vera just, you know, in the middle of 3 different HYVE members, took away that camp, secured it for her team. Now this is going to be a decent start for the side of BTR here. Rita already making her way down into the mid lane to share the gold and EXP with her teammates. At the same time, the Azure Golem has yet to be taken by Rogue. I'm not sure if BIGETRON knows about this. If they know about it, I think they can actually try for the steal here.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like they're going to. It looks like Frida is just going to be happy, just trying to stick around her own jungle. Hasn't really just crossed the river. It looks like she's going to be going top right now, potentially into Wanna, but, you know, Wanna is going to be a tough one. The mobility on that hero. Oh, nice heroic tried to go for that steal, plants the flag, and now Vera with a nice 2-man stun. Can they get anything else? They have Rogue locked into place with that tri-slash. It does look like Rogue will eventually get on out of it.
Yep, they have caught one member though. I think it's Kitty Cutie who has been caught in the bottom side of the map here by Gia. Unable to finish the job at this moment, and everyone is waiting for her.
Yeah, everybody was waiting, but Kitty Cutie was on the other side of that wall, so that she does stay alive. Gia with the first attempt. I think that that's good. You want to put a little bit of pressure on where you're like, oh, actually, that Moonscape Mirage is something that we need to worry about, especially come positioning when these team fights are about to happen.
Yes, it is, and it's going to be even more important, especially when we hit that 4-minute mark, right? The first neutral objectives, teams normally wrestle over that Tyrant. I think this game is no exception, right? Both HYVE All-Stars and BIGETRON by Vitality will give it a shot to try and take that Tyrant away. The big thing is, I don't think it matters who takes it. I think it matters who survives after the take, because you know there's going to be bloodshed.
Yeah, and again, we saw that in game 1, right? Both of these squads willing to just gamble and to go all in terms of a brawl style, and it was very entertaining. This one is way more cagey. You're seeing that BIGETRON are really just kind of playing a little bit more standard. They're playing a little bit more defensively. They, again, have not really been invading, but at the same time, HYVE haven't found a way to kind of penetrate the armor that is the BIGETRON by Vitality squad and to get in and into that jungle.
No, I feel like BIGETRON is playing the more calculated game at this point, right? They know about the advantages they can stretch, and they don't want to overextend. Because in game number 1, they kind of overextended quite a few times. So BIGETRON by Vitality this time is a more disciplined play from the ladies. We'll see. In the space of another 35 seconds, we're going to see that true wrestle and tussle in the Tyrant pit.
Yeah, it looks like the bottom lane, though. Kitty QT was really aggressively just kind of out of position, dare I say. Does survive, doesn't have to use the Unending Sorrow, but she will recall on back. But this is a little worrying. She needs to kind of, you know, walk it, hoof it all the way to the Tyrant, which is going to be up in about 15 seconds.
I think it's okay, right? I think it's also a very nice restraint coming out from Kitty QT. She actually, I think, you know, HYVE All-Stars, they wanted to force out that unending sorrow from her. Didn't manage to do it. I like that patience from the side of Kitty QT.
I kind of feel like I need to change my name to Hauler QT so that people call me QT, so it gives me a chance.
Stop.
No? Okay, all right. I gotta shoot my shot. But now here comes the Tyrant. This is gonna be the big one for them because it's the first one. Kitty QT is still up in front. Tyrant is already at half. Heaven and Earth mode, he decides to go, but who gets the take? It looks like Rogue gets it, but she's a little bit on the lower end. The Unending Sorrow looking to just turn that around. They've gotten Posti. That's going to be a huge one, but Rita will fall in the end. Infinite Fastness is going to hit a decent number, but she gets Ocean and Tears when she reappears, and Rogue is running for her life. It looks like 2 members down from both of these squads. And they find yet another. Oh, they're going to find Rogue. Oh, she dashes away. Rogue playing with her food. The flash on forward. QT says, I will take that one to go.
Okay, that was a great play, and Bigetron this time, this is why the restraint is so important, right? They kind of lost away the Tyrant in that exchange, but they got bigger value out of the trade here.
Okay, so it looks like they've gotten Posti, but she actually dashes away, but this is opening things up for the Crimson Golem. Joyd 7 has arrived with Gia to just help support, but it looks like they will push them away. They're going to take the Crimson, and they will just slowly take it so that they ensure that Rogue will eventually pick up this ball.
I feel like this is a completely different game for Bebek and Joyd 7, right? Joyd 7 did not fall a single time in the previous game itself. Right now, this first kill onto her is going to affect her farm. She is slightly lesser in terms of gold, but Bebek, this is the kind of advantage we want to see her have. Now the question is, what can she do with what? This is a 200 gold lead.
Yeah, but Bigetron, I mean, they bounced back. This is a much better game for them. They're playing with the Bigetron by Vitality's, play style that we expected, and now they're here. And HYVE now it's a 50-50 game. This is not going to be as easy. Bigetron right now are not just rolling over, looking to just take this one, line down, so to speak. But now HYVE with a great opportunity to just show exactly how strong they are, even in a close matchup here.
Yes, and you know what? I want to turn my focus onto Euphoria for a little bit. I feel like Cascada is a great pick for her. It fits more of her playstyle, right? She doesn't have to overcommit like the Shi in game number 1. She's able to deal damage from afar, get the CC as well. So let's see if Euphoria can add on to the advantage that BTR has at this point. It's not the biggest right now, it's kind of negligible, but one more kill with no trades, that should do it. But at this point, Vira! Oh no, she's not doing too good.
Oh, she's gonna barely stay alive, though. I mean, she has that Tri-Slash, but this is the minion wave that's gonna be there. But they force it in the top lane. Bigetron are trying to just take down this tower, and Rogue is gonna plant that flag, does get caught on with that Hound, and it looks like Frida wants to chase it down, but Rogue is out-sustaining it. They take the top T1, but Rogue will eventually fall. A little too squishy at this stage, but can now HYVE. Looking to go for that flank.
Nice.
They actually turn this around. The Moonscape Mirage has them locked in on this one, and now Frida in the brush. Can they go for this? There's a 2 versus 2. They get this. The Infinite Fastness. She's circling around. She's actually going to go on the defensive posturing, but they find Gia in return. Says, how dare you take us away into that Mirage? And I think that will be the end. A 2 for 2.
Beautiful work. Yeah, I mean, beautiful work from the side of Bigetron, right? Now, they're taking much better fights, and they're making it kind of unfair for the side of HYVE All-Stars. And this is a kind of recovery we want from the Indonesian squad here in the form of Bigetron by Vitality. So the ladies are doing well, but the pain point for them now is HYVE All-Stars, they're still managing to find farm across the map. So they're not really getting the goal lead out of all of these wonderful exchanges.
It's very close. I mean, they're fighting, but at the same time, it's so, like, the net worth is literally a wash. I mean, they're continuing on, but the team fights, it seems to me like they're a little bit longer than they should be. It's not like a quick pick-off, okay, now let's retreat. It's like the return fights, the revenge tour is there. They're trying to make it happen, and both teams are willing to continue fighting.
Yes, and I mean, that's what makes this particular series more exciting, right? Because we rarely get to see, full-on 5v5s throughout the entire time. One is going to try to go for the catch here.
Tried to go for it, but didn't get the right angle. Doesn't find the Razor Cavalry, and now Wanna has to just ride away. That's going to be a sad story for her, as she probably has to go through a drive-through for McDonald's because she's so sad and depressed. But now Bigetron looking to turn this around. They're going to start with the Tyrant here. They get a nice little stun on a Gia, who actually gets Moonscape Mirage into this one. She is very low. That is a potential kill right there to set things up, to kind of start it, but the Tyrant is going to be the big target. Do they actually go for this one? And it looks like Frida does have that takeaway, and now Cutie KT is just going to limp away. Vria is not as lucky. She gets picked off.
Okay, I think at this point it's a better trade for the side of HYVE All-Stars, but they can make it an even greater one if they can take away the Overlord as well as a T1 at this point. But Rita, I don't think she's going to try and allow that.
She will scout it out, but with really no smite, it's going to be very dangerous. She doesn't really want to risk it. She does not. She's going to go back to her own jungle, but Rita has a bounce-back game. She's doing much better in this one. And yes, they're keeping pace with Rogue, which is going to be the big target on, at least on that side of HYVE here.
Yeah, but once again, Winner is playing so well. She's making all the split pushes. She's creating pressure across the map. And BIGETRON by Vitality, they have to respond. This is there is no question, right? Now there's going to be a numbers advantage, and if they catch Rita here, it's not going to be ideal. Gia, I think we talked about this earlier. Hang on.
Looks like Rogue is getting gone on. Wants that Azor, but she's so low. She has the shield, the dash away, but Vera is going to find her, gets the snipe in, and that's going to be a bit of an issue here. The Moonscape Mirage, it looks like they've got to caught him in, but it doesn't look like they're going to actually do enough. But what happens when they return back to the core? Gia's there, gets focus fired. She gets blown up and pays with her life in that sense. It says, again, how dare you take us to the Moonscape Mirage?
Right, but this is the 10-minute mark. This is where the Shadow variants are going to be spawning. And right now, BIGETRON by Vitality. The game plan is to take this Shadow Tyrant first, so they have a better time of taking the big fights against HYVE All-Stars. We can already see Rita actually is already making her way down. Scouted out as well by KDQT. Very nice job. They should get this.
Yeah, good zoning there. Ensures that she stays alive. But she took a little bit of tower damage on the side of BIGETRON because they had so many members that were focused on that Tyrant. HYVE right now, just again, it's about the outer lanes, the pushing that you're seeing from Wanna, ensuring that they create as much space as possible so BIGETRON have to respond.
Right now, BTRs are mounting the defense, right? They want to stop any attempt on that Shadow Overlord because that's going to buy a lot more time for the side of HYVE All-Stars. And you know they're doing well in the macro game department at this point. Nice catch once again, forcing KDQT in a bad position.
Yeah, forcing it, but it looks like they're all congregating around it because the return is right about to happen. The Razor Cavalry is going to be queued up, looking to go for this one, and Wanna gets actually frozen. The Infinite Fastness is going to be used aggressively, wants to continue fighting. Nice little pick off on Vera, and they find it, and now QT on the run, gets sniped out with that Flaming Palm, and Bebek just barely gets picked off as well. Joy7 with a double kill, and now HYVE All-Stars get the team ace off the amazing play, the initiation that was set up by Gia there.
Yep, insane limit break, and HYVE All-Stars, they're going to get more than that as well. They're going to get the Shadow Overlord. There is no contest because it's an ace for the side of HYVE All-Stars. BIGETRON by Vitality. I think that right now the damage that's guaranteed is that T2 in the mid. That's going to be a pain point for the side of BIGETRON by Vitality because T1 is also going to be taken by Winner here, and this one hurts.
Yeah, it definitely hurts. I mean, they're taking all the towers right now on the outside as well as the mid T2. They're taking everything at this point. And again, it was a team ace. It was huge. It was a massive win for HYVE All-Stars, but things were looking so close. But now BIGETRON again on the losing end in terms of this net worth, and now they have to find a way yet again to come back.
Yeah, I think at least with this draft, it looks like BIGETRON by Vitality, they can last a little bit longer. Now, they have already outlasted the first game duration, which was 11 minutes. Just shy. Right now, BIGETRON by Vitality, the goal is, can you stave off a T3 take, win a fight during the defense, and make your own way into the T3s of HYVE All-Stars?
It's going to be a tough one, right? And all of them need to just kind of hold. If anything, just they need to deal with the Vanguards as quickly as possible. Buy themselves a little bit more time. They have not hit, again, enough of the critical mass in terms of items to really take any sort of fight because HYVE are able to get that jump in. Once Gia gets that isolation, that was pretty much the start of, the end of these team fights for BIGETRON.
Yep, I like the focal point this time from the side of HYVE All-Stars, right? Gia, once she catches KDQT, it instantly becomes a much more difficult fight for the side of BIGETRON by Vitality, right? Bebek is doing well in terms of farm, but she's not there yet. She needs to be 15. She needs to be 6 slotted.
Yeah, she's only level 13, at this point. She's really struggling in that sense. I mean, they don't really have enough in terms of the damage. All the towers took a little bit of, chip damage at this point. It's not, none of them are down, but that's worrying. I mean, we're only at the 13-minute mark, and she's not able to wave clear fast enough, and now HYVE are taking everything from your jungle.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just a matter of time, right? So HYVE All-Stars, they recognize this. Droid 7, once again, getting all these free hits on the breeder.
Oh, Euphoria just gets instantly bursted down. Rogue finds her out of position, makes her pay, and now there's just going to be a little bit of control in this bottom lane. The spacing, if you will. They've taken some flaming palms with BIGETRON limping back into their fountain yet again.
Okay, but they have managed to defend for their T3. So, you know, good work so far from the side of BIGETRON by Vitality. HYVE All-Stars unable to find the breakthrough just yet. But I believe with the next take of this Shadow Tyrant, that could be the opening that they're looking for.
I mean, it's for free, right? I mean, Wana's there. Look at how far up she is. This is exactly where you want to be because you're seeing all the movements that BIGETRON are going to do, and they're, again, just playing very defensively. They can't really even leave their base. They're fighting for scraps for any sort of, you know, farm at this point, and the net worth is down about 6K. This is a bad spot for BIGETRON.
Not comfortable at all, right? And the biggest question is, if you're on BIGETRON, like, who do you actually go for? Because every single member, maybe not Posty, but the rest of the ladies, they are a huge problem because they have a lot of damage to offer, and there's quite a lot of invincibility, or at least recovery. They're gonna try, though, for the side of BIGETRON.
Frida pounding forward. That was very ambitious, if anything. She's gonna take a lot of damage. The Infinite Fastness was used, though, but Droid 7 will be going on back. She will stay alive. So I think it looks like they're going to reset because, again, it's all about that ult. But with Posty Celestial Melody, we'll just give up another one.
Okay, but the lead now is at 7,000. They do know where the members of HYVE All-Stars are at. Now, mid lane's going to be a little bit scary, especially for the side of Bebek. She needs to be careful about the positioning.
Oh, definitely need to be careful. That is a tight alleyway, and nobody really wants to be there, especially when you're on the barrel of a Wana looking at you. She wasn't able to find the angle, but the heroic charges have been annoying on the minion wave. And yeah, Wana very tanky at this stage as well, so this is going to be even more trouble for BIGETRON.
Okay, I like this positioning by BIGETRON, right? They want to make sure they have it safe, get the Crimson, but it's stolen away once again, this time going into the hands of Joy 7. She is just a menace at this point.
Yeah, she's taking everything. I mean, this is super annoying. And now, BIGETRON right now, like, what are they farming? This is like the smallest of the small in terms of just like the minimal minions that are coming your way. It looks like they have to make some sort of play. It looks like the Overlord is going to be taken by Rogue, and Shurzy gets it with that swipe. But here comes the Sword Greek Dragon right into the heart of this one. Tries to get the right angle, wants to go. The flash forward, not able to find it to raise her recovery. Doesn't really matter because they've already got the Moonscape Barrage. They found the lagger, but it's Frida. This is going to be a tough one for Tia. She's already very low. She does reappear, but now comes Frida. He's been isolated. He's going to be picked off. Yeah, Myra's trying to roll to the back line. Finds Joy, who gets on the Infinite Fastness. She gets on back, and they do have 3 members of BIGETRON still up. Still looking to trade. The Droid 7 through all of that somehow survive.
Okay, they're gonna have a big problem here. Bebek going in for the shutdown. That's gonna be a great start, but the Shadow Overlord is flying down onto the bottom side. BIGETRON need to respond to this.
Yeah, they need to control, but Bebek has finally hit that mark. Now they're looking to continue on fighting. They want to go, but the Arrow Storm turning it around. Droid 7 is outlasting it. The Unending Sorrow keeping him alive. The Infinite Fastness, the Celestial Melody has really paid off and ensures that Droid 7 survives at least for now.
Okay, for now, it's not looking too great for the side of BIGETRON, but Bebek is online. She is 6 slotted. She is level 15. She is the shining hope for the side of BIGETRON. If she falls, then HYVE All-Stars should have a guaranteed victory. But if she does not, then HYVE All-Stars, they need to start worrying about game number 3 here.
Yeah, Bebek has played very well. I mean, she's only died a single time. She's 2-1-7. Definitely been in all of the kills practically for her squad. So she's done well. She's gotten those items. And that's the biggest thing. And yeah, she's about 1.5K behind Droid 7. But at this stage of the game, it's all good, right? She just needs to stay alive. The rest of the team need to ensure that she stays. Again, it's like the President Protect lineup right now.
Yeah, at this point, it's really more about Sage's Sanctuaries, right? How many Sages do you have? You only have 2 in the entire game. Rogue tries to go in for a little bit of a taster, an appetizer before the actual main dish here, which is going to be the Shadow Tyrant. Now, BIGETRON, they might want to contest for this, but it might be too late here. Rogue gonna get that. Oh, they actually get the catch. Kitty QT once again caught out by Gia.
Yeah, and this is kind of the power, but the nice little Razor Cavalry. Vrita gets pushed back with that heroic charge. Ocean of Tears used in return, the Arrow Storm, but it looks like they find Kitty QT. They do get the pick off, and this is the thing where generally as a Yuan support, you want to be up front. You're providing that vision because you think that you can sustain, but the Moonscape Mirage just kind of negates that, and especially since you're locked in there, the rest of HYVE can be on top of you, and you're going to have a tough time.
Yep, and that's exactly why Warner was doing such a fantastic job, right? Cutting away the backline access from inside of BIGETRON, which led to BTR having to shift their positions and leaving Kitty QT alone, which led to her downfall at this point. So BIGETRON by Vitality, at this point they need to really watch the map. But it's so difficult, you don't have T3s at the top and the bottom as well.
Don't really have much. I mean, they could just essentially end. The top and the bottom both are very vulnerable at this stage as they don't have the tower. But now the Heaven and Earth mode, Vrita gets bursted. The amount of damage that they have, and Vyra is looking to just go for this one, but gets stuck into the Moonscape Mirage. It looks like she will be just fighting for her life there. Nice little play by Vyra. It looks like Wanna ends up finding this one, but Gia's double kill, that's gonna open things up, but they don't really have the minions. The Unending Sorrow keeping Kitty QT alive, at least for now, but she does need to heal, needs to be careful. They're just waiting for the next minion wave.
Yep, Gia's pokes are so painful at this point. Bebek's gonna give it a try.
Oh, they tried to go for the Razor Cavalry. She tried to get cute on that one, but it looks like she's under the tower. She gets frozen. That's going to be Sage's Sanctuary, but they take the crystal, and HYVE will win the game and the series, and they will meet AGG in the finals.
Beautiful gameplay from the ladies of HYVE All-Stars. This one was a little bit nail-biting for them, but once again, they pull through, which means they will meet AG in the grand finals. Now, congrats to them. And of course, big efforts, big props to the team for the side of BIGETRON by Vitality. They really tried their best. Bebek was starting to carry the game already. Unfortunately, it was just not enough.
Not enough. And I'm just kind of thinking this HYVE for me was just had so much impact, right? The amount of control, taking it away, always ensuring that you got that kill, really set things up. And Gia just understanding how to play the hero and just full control. Because once they're down a member, it's pretty much all she wrote at that point. But again, props to HYVE All-Stars on this one.
Yes, crazy game. I mean, this was a much more complicated game number 2 for the side of BIGETRON by Vitality, as well as HYVE All-Stars. But once again, auto lose, and with the other KOLs here celebrating another PH region win, as HYVE will make it to the next stage.
They look very good, very clean, and that second game was definitely a little bit more competitive in that regard. BIGETRON really tried to take the fight to them, but just too strong in the end. I mean, I think that, you know, BIGETRON can keep their heads up because that was a much better game in that second one where they were able to bounce back. They have a lot of potential, and moving forward, we're going to probably see this team even more.
Yes, Women's Series, I think this is a great start for them as well. Of course, we want to take a look at more action, and we will have more for you after this one. We are going to have our Tri-Nation Clash, and that's going to be a 3-way triangular map once again between our ID region, MY region, and PH region.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. There's actually a lot of bragging rights. I think there's been a lot of trash talking. I don't know if it's helping the squads get closer or, you know what I mean, or they're getting more, you know, defensive with things, because it seems like the trash talk is real, and they're very proud about their representation here.
They definitely are. And it's a different kind of setup, right? Because you're playing on, you're seated on a sofa in front of the entire audience, and everyone gets to see you mess up or make the godlike plays. So pressure's on for all 3 teams.
Yeah, actually, but it is super fun, right? I think that's the biggest part. It's one of those modes that's available. You don't have to play all your games in ranked and just kind of go through that drive where you need a little bit of mental warfare in action as well. So this is a little bit more casual in that regard. It is definitely a fun one. The games are quick, and you know, it's very different, and it's still Honor of Kings at the end of the day. So again, just props on whoever created this mode.
Yes, very fun, right? It's casual, but it's messy, chaotic, exactly what you need to have all the teams riled up at the same time. This is something that if you haven't tried it yet, you will get to find out. You don't get to really pick your picks. But these 2 teams have, and HYVE have been the big victors with a 2-0 win in this best of 3 series against BIGETRON by Vitality. Take your pick, man. Which one is your MVP?
you can go multiple ways, right? I mean, Joy was just out farming, just having a great time. Gia, for me, the Moonscape, the Mirage was just on point. I think that for me, that was the biggest impact. But Rogue and Wanna also, they had their own as well in terms of just setting things up. This is a team that's really starting to find their groove, and HYVE is looking to be formidable for HE Global, and I think that they need to be a bit worried as they watch this replay here.
Yeah, for sure. I'm in total agreement with you, right? Take a look at the damage by Joy 7 as well as Gia. The both of them over 150,000 worth of damage in a 20-minute game. Now, I would definitely think that Gia is in contention for that MVP. She was making all the plays, making sure that Kitty QT #1 was majority out of the fight, and also at certain times in the game, actually catching Vrida off as the Yangtze and Twilight. That was huge in the team fight.
Yeah, absolutely huge. Just understanding who needs to get sent away, right? I think that was the biggest thing, but it was close. I mean, and we're seeing this in terms of the gold graph. It went both ways. BIGETRON actually were winning at some points, and yes, it was kind of small in that sense, but once those pickoffs were starting to happen, the team fights were just kind of, implemented in the way of HYVE. They were able to just fully control and dominate to finish this game that almost went to a Tempest Dragon.
Yeah, very, very close, right? 20 minutes is when the Tempest Dragon spawns, but HYVE, they knew they needed to end that game there and then, because if they had given BIGETRON by Vitality a little bit more time, I am in full confidence that, Bebek would have been the major player to make the comeback, but the one that really gave the true value here is Posty. Yes, 0, 1, and 13, KDA. Look, it might not seem too great for you, but 13 assists, multiple Celestial Melodies with the refresh, crazy value given to the side of HYVE All-Stars.
Nobody cares about roamers, though. What is going on?
What?
No,
I do.
I'm just kidding. I'm just saying that because you're a roamer too. But yes, actually her impact was definitely felt there. The Celestial Melodies were on point. Having those multiple dragons to get on out, multiple ults is going to be key on this one. And you saw just how much impact that they had. It might not show up all the time because, again, who's counting exactly how many times she's casting the Celestial Melody? It's a little under the radar in that sense. And she gets picked off here. But this is a good start. I mean, in the sense of HYVE being able to fight back and weather the storm, because BIGETRON really stuck it to them early.
Yeah, they really did, because BIGETRON, I think at this point, they understood what the risk of the draft was. If Gia is going to be isolated from the rest of the team after one of the team members of BIGETRON survives the Moonscape Mirage, it's a guaranteed win for the team fight on the side of BIGETRON by Vitality. So they didn't allow that to happen. This was, in big thanks to Wanna, every single time there was a huge moment available from the side of Gia, Wanna actually came in from the backlines to flank the rest of BIGETRON by Vitality, cutting off that #1 escape route, but then also opening up the doors for a multi-man flank from the side of HYVE All-Stars.
Wanna's performance was quite good throughout the entire series. She just had a lot of impact. Always the perfect flanks, and she's very patient. She doesn't go out, you know what I mean, like all the time. She's looking for the right moments to go in, and she really set things up. She sacrifices her own life here, understanding that the game was at stake and they were able to take down that crystal. But HYVE finding the right moments and how to shut down BIGETRON in the end.
Yeah. She needs to change the Wanna to a winner at this point. Very strong gameplay from this Clash laner as well. So, Team PH.